everybody, and welcome to DefTalk, the talk show that focuses on everything World of Warcraft, whether it's classic, retail, or the players that play it. We're going to cover it all. I am, of course, Defcamp. We have with us my wonderful brother, Melderon. Say hello.
Hey everyone, good to see you.
And our very special guest, someone who has been a part of the classic community for probably longer than anyone we've had on this show. That is, of course, Alexensual. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Oh, I'm very glad to have you on today, dude.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So, in case you guys don't know who Alex is, he's someone who's been involved with Classic way back before the days of Nost, like early Nost. He's been very outspoken in what he believes is the best way for Classic to be, and because a little bit of that outspokenness, there has been some fair share of controversy. But whether you see eye to eye, yeah, fair share, I'd say. But whether you see eye to eye with him or not, without a doubt, he's someone who's been advocating for Classic WoW since he started making videos. So, thank you for that, Alex. You've been really, I'd say, an inspiration for Melderon and us, and I know for a lot of other content creators as well. So, let's start with where we start with everybody. So, when did you get into playing WoW, and when did you first start playing?
Okay, so I started with Warcraft 2. Played Warcraft 2 at my friend's house, got into the series. Then I got into Warcraft 3. And then I played online games before, like Halo and Halo 2 and RuneScape. And then so I knew you could play online with people. And then they announced Warcraft Online. I was like, okay, I gotta get this. So I got that for Christmas because I was a kid. I didn't get anything I wanted at whenever I wanted. So I had to wait till Christmas. And I was one of those kids that went and searched for the presents in the closets and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I saw a copy of World of Warcraft with that Brady Games guide.
Oh my god!
So December 25th, 2004.
2000
made my orc warrior on Archimons, and that was it. That was the end of my life from that day on.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's
the end of all our lives. Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So, did you play any MMOs before that?
What's up?
Did you play any MMOs before that, or was that your first MMO?
I played a little RuneScape, and I think Star Wars Galaxies came out before WoW, or maybe not. I don't remember.
I actually don't remember.
It was a long time ago. It was around that time I did play RuneScape and Star Wars Galaxies. I even tried EverQuest 2. I think EverQuest 2 was during vanilla, but WoW was one of the very, very first ones I ever played.
Yeah, it was our first too. And oh man, so you first started playing. You made an Orc Warrior.
Yeah,
so you've been for the Horde since day one, or you have?
Oh yeah, when I had a couple Alliance characters just to see what it was like, but I was always I always liked the Horde more.
Yeah. So. Yeah, my first character was Alliance, but I learned a little bit about myself.
And I hopped around too. I only got that Orc Warrior to level 24 or something, and then I kept getting killed by rogues. And I was just because it was World of Roguecraft in the beginning. Rogues were so good. If you weren't a rogue, you were a loser. So I switched to rogue, and then eventually I made a warlock too. Those were my two main characters.
Nice.
Warlock was crazy bad, really awful in the beginning, really bad. You didn't have I don't think Deathcoil was even in the game. First Deathcoil wasn't in the game, then they put it in the game, but it was a shit Deathcoil. It was a cast time and a long cooldown, so you could interrupt it, right, instead of instant cast. So a rogue could just kick your Deathcoil and you're fucked. So you're dead. Right. And then Fear was all fucked up. Warlocks were just known as the Gimp class, they were the worst in PvP, an instant.
Yeah.
And then eventually they changed them, and they got better as time went on. But
yeah, Warlocks had a
rough overpowered class and the worst one.
Yeah, right. That's it's almost weird because you saw it back in the day. We had World of Warcraft, all that stuff. Melee was really the king, but then towards the end of WoW, Warlocks were doing some of the craziest DPS that anyone had seen during all of WoW. So it's they really went through this crazy change.
In the beginning, it was all about you don't see this on private servers, but the weapon speed of like the melee weapons were like really important. And like that, I think it was a long time ago, but the slower the weapon, it was usually. That's why you saw a lot more rogues like Barman Shanker. That you don't see on private servers. Yeah.
Yep. Crazy ambush crits, man. I remember that shit. Like Barman Shanker, if you wanted to be a dagger rogue and wanted to get crazy ambush crits, that was the dagger for you.
You don't see like that's the weird thing on private servers. Like a lot of weapons that were good back then, people don't really use anymore. No. So like I remember seeing a lot more like Heart Seekers. Do you remember that? It was like a 1.7 blue crafted dagger that you could get from like Live Strat. I think the pattern dropped off the Cannon Master. You don't see that anymore. I saw that all the time back in the day, all the time. I saw Barman Shanker all the time. I remember rogues would team up to solo that and BRD for the dagger.
I used to solo him. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, but you don't see this stuff on private servers. You probably won't see it in Classic either.
No, that's the sad part. I actually went back on my rogue on Lights Hope and did Barman Shanker and sold it myself just for like the shits and giggles because I did it so many times because I played my first character was Alliance, unfortunately. But you know, there's something about that playing Alliance again on a rogue for me too. Like I like relived a lot of these experiences. But yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. So that's something that was really big in early vanilla, like you said, was the weapon speed had a huge difference on melee, and I think was probably one of the reasons why melee was overpowered so much back in the day too. And private servers,
Barman Shanker either too, because
you don't.
It has a dot, so it kind of like fucks up the
debuff slot.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Debuff slot and like the PvP as well.
That's like BRE as well. You know what I mean? Like that's it's a great sword, but it has that debuff slot. So that's like one of the things that I thought about. Like, would this be a way for classes to kind of differentiate themselves between private servers and maybe have that initial change in the beginning? But I don't think they're gonna do that.
They're not gonna do that.
No, it would be cool, but
well, that brings up a good point though. Do you think that the meta is so solid that an influx of new players who've never played before won't rediscover some of these things by accident? I guess what I'm trying to say is the meta really that like well known across all? Like we play private servers.
See something new?
Yeah, I mean, like we have a lot of influx of new players. Do you think anything's going to change, or is it just going to be the over dominated? Like these are the specs, these are the classes that basically. Will we see any influx of new ideas? Is what I'm saying.
I don't think so. The reason why I say I don't think so is because on private servers, like since Nostarius hasn't really been. Hasn't done much.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of new players coming in from then too.
The only thing I could really see like that I saw an influx of was elemental shamans. Like I don't think I think there was more elemental shamans over the last few years of private servers.
Interesting.
That's from my memory. I mean, I remember in vanilla seeing a lot more enhancement shamans with like two-handed elemental shamans, but I could be wrong.
Dude, elemental in PvP is sick, dude. Absolutely.
It's very sick, yeah. And in PvE, it seems like the damage is there, but it's just the mana that is the problem for elemental shamans.
In nature.
One thing I'd like to see is if because I don't know if like there's not enough testing on it or whatever, but could we ever see like boomkins? Like are those all figured out? Like I don't know. Like they probably are, but it would be interesting to see if somebody like created like a sick PvP build with like boomkin.
Yeah, we'll have to get on that with Taladrill, see if we can figure something out with that.
What I know, the most like really well PvP build for druids is like the mix between like it's like a couple points in balance, couple points in resto, a couple points in feral, and it's kind of like you can use some balance
like triple spec,
right? But you don't go like full moonkin form. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it, but you get more utility out of being like the flag carrier who can heal and also do damage. You know what I mean? But druids are really interesting in PvP, I think, because it's like one of the only classes where you're like you're literally balanced between like each spec. You know what I mean? But
they're very versatile for sure.
They are. It's definitely one of those classes where you kind of have to like you give up a lot because there's really all you can really do in PvE is heal. And if you want to be, I have seen some good Feral Druid tanks, but of course you're not going to take the place of a warrior.
I've definitely seen a lot of good. A lot of people say like druids are like the worst healer, but I've seen a lot of good
Absolutely.
healing druids on these private servers. Like that surprised me a lot.
I
Like
know.
I've been beating myself by playing priest. I've seen druids like we had some in Grizzly that were really good. Like
Yeah.
Top and meters sometimes. And you're like, whoa.
We have some in our guild that are really good, and you think I'm like, okay, so this healer, this druid who is like giving me innervate as a priest is on my ass, and like if he would have gave innervate to himself, he probably would have been above me. Like some fights, you really see druid shine,
Yep.
and it's not even
Molten Core.
Oh, dude, they're great. Yeah, I mean,
Gold Mag.
Yep, great fight, and it's like a lot of the times they're not even using their hots that much. It's just the healing touch and all those different ranks. It's like
Regrowth.
Yep, regrowth is,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, like, renew is pretty much a better heal, but the fact that druids have different ways, they have regrowth and they have rejuvenation. So I don't know. I've seen some druids kick ass. So it's definitely one of those things where like people say one thing that like, oh, priests will always be on top, but I've definitely seen some druids over top priests.
For sure. I've definitely seen druids.
Yeah, and I think that just goes that you just can't look at the parses. Sometimes you have to look at the player skill.
Yeah.
And
and the utility that they bring.
Yeah. We had a guildie post, not a guildie, we had a Discord member post their rag kill, and they were posting it was the shamans were up top, and my brother was like, how could you let a shaman, how could you let priests out, shaman out here?
No, I said, how could those priests let shamans out here? Like, just joking.
And then me as the shaman's like, well, screw you. But anyway, but yeah,
I feel like priests are much more likely to beat anybody in healing.
Yeah.
Paladins
they
are very
supreme.
It's hard to heal with paladins.
Yeah. They're just so efficient, and so like the name of the game in vanilla healing is you have so many healers, especially when like right now we're geared right, like MC and Ani's on farm, we're doing it all in one night, and like healers are fighting each other to get heals out. If you got a paladin dude and you can put out heals that quick, you're always gonna come out on top.
It's like that game Whack-A-Mole.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what it is. And
dude, healing can get frustrating when like everyone's geared and like you're just trying to and you're just like shit. Yeah. Like I might as well.
That's why I like BC healing way more because it's more AOE and based and
right there with
it's more skill based than vanilla healing for sure.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I do want your opinion on something because like we've been talking about this in the last 3 Def Talks, and I want to get as many opinions on this as possible. What are your thoughts on changes to world buffs or buffs to bosses in early raids?
All right, so I've thought about this recently. If you buff, so people are really get really upset when you talk about like the meme specs and like elemental shaman or enhancement shaman or like rep paladin. If you buff the bosses, those guys ain't ever seen a raid, so they already don't see it. But if you buff like the boss's health and stuff, you would never take those guys. So
that's very true.
I don't see them ever doing that.
That's a really good point.
I just don't. I haven't really thought about that since recently, but people are always that's like their main worry is like, oh, can I raid as a boomkin or a feral druid? I mean, raids if they buff them, and the second thing is if they buff them, it's just I feel like it's gonna feel like heroic mode or something. A lot of people have already done this content a lot, including people from back in the day. I don't think it's like in retail WoW where you like, let's say from an expansion pack, like, I don't know. Let's say you're in Mists of Pandaria and you're doing Siege of Orgrimmar and you kill like Garrosh on, I don't know, easiest difficulty. And you try to do it again on like Mythic. That's what it's going to feel like to me.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't know.
But I think you're right. It really limits the ability for non-optimal specs.
No.
Right.
To even enter a raid, I think people are going
to. I don't think. I think they may like tinker with it a little bit, like minor percentages, like very minor, like maybe like between like 1% and 5% difference. But I don't
Which
think
won't make a big difference. Yeah.
Like that.
And what do you feel about world buffs? Do you think they should be allowed in raids or not?
At least in the early raids. Let's talk about Ani and MC right now. Don't even bring Nax into the equation right now. It's a hard question, right?
It's I'm gonna say it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's on one side you can say no changes and have the world buffs in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they adapt to and add percentages like to the bosses and stuff, like between like 1% and 5%, I could maybe see a case. And on the other side of the coin, they already have stuff from vanilla that aren't going to be there. Like we talked about the weapon speed of the weapons. You could use that as a case for not having more buffs. And the other thing too is world buffs do provide some kind of gameplay, even though they are annoying. They do provide some kind of gameplay on top of doing the raids. And
that's true.
It's like, and you can, have rivalries between guilds and like wipe a guild and like Black Red Mountain or something. So that's fun.
Songflower, who's got the Songflower? Someone's coming in.
Yeah.
You're gonna
People
play
also, I think they use those buffs for like PvP and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They're probably, if I had to guess, they will keep it in the game.
Yeah.
Because it was there,
I'm there with you, Alex. I think that it would cause more issues than solve down the line. But it's like one of those gray areas, you know what I mean? Because there could be a lot of benefits. And then people are like, I got my, we spent time getting our DM buffs. We got our friggin' Ani buff. We got our MC buff for the, we got our Uber's buff for the fire resistance. We got our Songflower. And then we get ganked before we run into Molten Core. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like all those buffs are gone.
Well, here's that thing. Do you also remove the buff from Upper Blackrock Spire, the fire resistance buff?
That's a huge, that was how we got our first rank. I mean, without that,
I don't think you should
really
remove that.
undergeared. I don't think they should do that either. Because that's kind of like I don't know, that's something really cool that you go in there with a priest, you have to mind control the mob and get buff everybody.
Well,
I know some people probably, some people probably would be like, they're probably listening, they're like, what the fuck, I want world buffs gone. But I mean, if I had a checklist and I had to vote, I think I'd probably keep them in.
Yeah.
So to play devil's advocate, do you think Blizzard meant for these MC bosses to last like 25-30 seconds? Like, do you think world buffs trivialize these bosses? That's my fear.
They definitely do. They definitely do.
But Blizzard also didn't expect their game to last 15 people to be
That's
playing.
True.
And they also didn't expect the complete autism of people summoning people from across the zone to each world buff and then going somewhere else to summon them. There's no way they thought people would do that back in the day. No way. I mean, when I was doing like AQ and AQ specifically, we would just get all the world buffs and then we would have Warlock alts, in Silithus, ready to summon the raid from Darnassus with the buffs. I mean, I just don't think Blizzard saw that coming back in the day. So the game is just more advanced now. You have to change the whole game, I think, or something.
Yeah, the other thing too is Vanilla is in a unique position because unlike almost every other expansion, you're doing almost every raid. You're doing, when Nax is out, you're still doing Ani, getting your Ani head buff. You know what I mean? You're still doing a lot of these old raids wherein in BC, a lot of people do Nax even when burning, when Sun Will's out and stuff like that. But I feel like Vanilla's in that unique position where people want to have their world buff so they can burn through MC and Ani in a couple hours and then do BWL and then the next day do ZG and you know what I mean? So it's like there's that argument of it too where you want to do these raids as quick as you can because you have so many other raids that you're going to do later on.
That is one thing I've never liked though is like the speed running. I think it's absolutely stupid. I think it's some people probably would say, "Oh, it's fun. It's fun to see how fast you can do it." I think it's just retarded. I don't enjoy the aspect of. First of all, World of Warcraft was never like that. Mm-hmm. There was never a time in WoW where we would say, especially in like current content, "Wow, I want to clear this raid as fast as possible to beat the other guild's clear time." I don't ever. One thing I do remember is us, making sure we can lose a raid day, like clear the content so we didn't have to go back the next day.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't remember saying, "Oh, we need to beat this other guild by 0.2 seconds," or to make sure we're better on raid websites and shit.
Right.
No.
So to play devil's advocate, though, and this is definitely not my opinion because I do not plan on ever speedrunning any raid. Do you think that the speedrunning exists because there isn't any difficulty beyond what's available?
Yeah, that's the only
Yeah.
reason. You have to. They're making content because there's no content.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Yeah. And it's not something that I would get into, but I think that's why people do it. And I definitely do not want heroic modes in vanilla. Definitely. I'm not advocating for that at all, but I'm just, I'm just saying.
You know what the funny thing is, though? You ever played on Burning Crusade private server?
Yeah.
Yep.
None of these problems are there.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Speedrunning? No. There's hardly any questions. And honestly, it plays a lot like it did back in the day in BC.
It does.
There's not much different. I mean, honestly, I have more of a Blizz-like experience on PC than vanilla.
I agree with you there, dude. And I myself, I love BC. I love the raiding experience. It's when I personally got really into raiding. I didn't do much raiding in vanilla. And I feel like a lot of those, even if they're not the greatest BC servers, the experience felt emulated similarly to what I had in my BC experience.
There's progression.
And there's progression.
I didn't
Heroic
play on
dungeons are actually difficult. Things, you know what I mean? It's more of a sense of how it really felt during the time period.
Do you think that's due to just harder raids? Sorry, do you think that's due to harder raids? This is why we don't have these smash through the content because the raids are harder, the attunement processes are harder.
In BC?
Yeah.
I didn't play on gummies. I played the beta, but I know that the top guilds on there that played there, and they raided multiple nights a week. They had progression. They did not clear Vash and Kalefaus in one day.
Yeah.
It took them weeks. It took them, 1 week they were maybe how many bosses were in SSC again? 6, right?
6. Yep.
Maybe they killed a worker 1 week and they couldn't get to the next boss. And the next week maybe there were 3 out of 6. But it took them a while to clear the raid. You don't hear that in vanilla WoW.
No.
And that was a top guild. And those were players that I know from Grizzly or top vanilla guilds that we cleared Kel'Thuzad. So to hear that, I mean, is crazy for such an old game.
It is. And I think there's multiple reasons for that. I think when it comes down to it, the mechanics are just more I hate saying this rate's harder, this rate's harder. They're totally different, right? When you compare them to the time, what was out at the time, what mechanics there were compared to what abilities you have as a player. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say, this is harder or whatever. They're definitely different. But I think that's one of the main reasons why. And also, do you think that there are just way more people to play vanilla private servers than PC private servers? Is it just more popular to play that? So maybe more people have done the vanilla private server scene more?
I think BC is definitely not as casual. I think it's harder to get the attunements done. It's also 25 mans instead of 40, so it's less likely you'll get in a raid.
Yeah,
that's a good point though. A lot more people play vanilla than PC.
Yeah.
At the same time, I played both. I mean, I definitely enjoy BC raiding more. I think it's harder. I think it's.
I think you're.
I'm sure we'll. I really do think we'll see PC lag.
I hope so too.
That was my next question. Do you think we're gonna go or think we're gonna progress through, or think we're gonna have patches after vanilla?
I think I'm gonna do a video on that this week. Actually,
okay.
I was thinking about talking about that. I think if they wanted to do that, a lot of people are they're nervous of a raid after next Ramos, but
I'm nervous.
I think they could do it. I think they can. Maybe just not make sure the gear is insanely better. Why not? If you have a sword from Kel'Thuzad or something, why not just in the new raid just make it 1 to 2% better? There's going to be us nerds that are going to clear it, even if it's just 1 to 2% better.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
I would still clear it. So I don't understand the need to. I think one of the biggest mistakes they did was they made the gear in raids way much better than the previous raid. There's no need to make the jump that big.
The power creep's insane in vanilla.
The power creep is way too high. So the only thing I could see them doing is I could see them do 1 to 2 raids. I don't think out of the question.
And then maybe have a
But
BC server launch while that's going on, or that's
that's my
that's
question.
where
That's
the
why I
issue
don't think it's
arises,
going
you
to
know?
happen. That's why I don't
Yeah,
think
that's what I think too as well. Because like we mentioned this on our last DefTalk, like where I said like vanilla, you know, it has such a place in my heart. It's like that first girlfriend you had, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you'll never forget her, but then BC is like the girl that you marry or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like you have this feeling towards it where you love it, and it's like has a special place in your heart.
Except for
But
Flying
you
Mounts.
also, well, I mean, you know, I'm talking about BC in this.
That's the
Like,
problem with BC is there's just
it
I
is.
said
It
except.
made the
Yeah,
world
that's
too
the problem.
small.
Is Flying
Yeah.
Mounts.
it's not as sandboxy as vanilla. So
Yep. And someone brought that up to me, and I didn't even realize at first. I'm like, you're right. That did like when I first got my flying mount, it was freaking awesome. Like I love being able to see the world from that view. Felt amazing. But then when you think about it and how that made the world smaller, this is why I'm scared of like when they with this leak, which we'll get into in a little bit. With one of the things being the draw distance being, you know, you being able to see further. I feel like it's so important to vanilla to have that haze in the sky to make it so that you can't, like I said, you can't see Black Rock Mountain from Iron Forge. You can't see that because it makes the world feel mysterious. It makes the world feel have the sense of danger, and it makes it feel bigger. You know?
Yeah. I think that the issue is that unfortunately the Flying Mounts did have unforeseen effects for world PvP, but you know BC is built around that system. I think there's so many zones in BC that you have to access with a flying mount. So let's look at the Eye, or let's look at all those rep grinding areas in each zone that are higher up. So yeah, I mean it's just so linked to BC that it's something that we really can't ever remove, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think Blizzard knows that they in hindsight they were like, shit, we really did something bad to the community using flying mounts, and that's why they've been so flip-floppy with it ever since, if you remember. Anyway, so before we transition to more like news stuff, I just want to ask you, Alex, like, what was it like to kill KT? Like, I've never been there, and I don't know if I ever will in a vanilla environment. What was that like?
Well, I on a private server.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I killed it, I didn't think it would be like much different on retail, like in a classic setting, like classic WoW, not like vanilla WoW. I don't know anything about vanilla WoW back then when it comes to like Naxxramas, but I felt satisfied when I killed it. I mean, it was hard. Like, I don't know like what much different can be changed. Maybe like the length of the fight, but it was so long of a fight, man. It was like more than 10 minutes.
Yes.
And that's coming from people that like the game is so old now. If I had to guess, it probably won't be much different on classic WoW. Maybe between like again that like 1 to 5% difference.
Yeah.
Maybe. You know what it's like? It's like probably a bad example because it's really different, but like Coca-Cola and like the store-bought cola, or like
Shasta.
Yeah, like I don't know if it'd be that drastic because like maybe a bad example, but it's kind of similar to that. But it felt good. I liked Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen was really fun too.
That's a crazy fight, man. Well, we've
like,
done this in
Lothab. Lothab was fun too.
Oh, that's a fun healing fight, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really interesting fight.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It's just it made me hungry for like a new raid or something. Like it's like I didn't think it was good and it felt progressive, but it wasn't like it wasn't enough like in current day for me. So that's why I think like there could be like another raid or something, but it was still hard. Like I don't think many people are gonna be able to kill it.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Especially as a healer, I feel like in vanilla, like I mean, it's not it's challenging.
Very fun fight to heal because like if you get like ice blocked or something, you got to heal that person.
Oh yeah. Like we did this.
You got to shackle towards the end.
Towards the end, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we did this in Wrath. It's very similar, but it like I think like everything was
the difficulty is not
immensely.
Yeah.
Like they even said in Wrath the numbers were comparable to what they were actually in vanilla. Like that's how insane it was in vanilla. But I mean, and I get what you're saying, right? Because you were hungry for more, and that's kind of how I feel sometimes when I'm rating vanilla. Because listen, I'm not gonna try to say like I'm a great heal. Like, I've healed in Legion mythic raids. You know what I mean? I've healed all of my WoW career, and I feel like especially like in BC, like that's where I felt like the most, where like I was actually, being challenged in ways like that. And I feel like sometimes you don't feel that in vanilla because it's
You want to know why? Because already progressed. You know everything. You know when the damage is coming out. You know, like perfect example is Viscidus in AQ40, the ooze boss. So predictable. The damage comes out. You know exactly when it's coming out. You pray your healing. It's a joke. Like it's so easy to heal a fight like that, and it's not fun for me to heal. That's why I like BC healing more, because it does feel more progression. It feels like people, you actually wipe, and healing is actually, that's when you know you have good or bad healers. And I did see that somewhat in Nax, right?
Yeah.
But
so you think it's the predictability of the mechanics is a huge issue, and I definitely can see that, because they were, it was a system. Yeah, is exactly, and it was a system that was a little bit more archaic than what we even had in BC, of how things were, kind of like a roll of the dice kind of system, where every 15 seconds this mechanic happens. Okay, I gotta know now. I gotta heal the tank like crazy because this is gonna be getting hit hard now. And I mean, yeah, that happens in kind of every expansion somewhat, but it was, in BC at least there were more things happening, and I feel like in vanilla at least there was really, we had mechanics, but like you said, they were way more predictable, and you only had so many abilities to deal with those mechanics. You know what I mean? Okay, this is going to be happening. All I can do, prayer of heal my group, and this. But in BC, you have circle of healing, which you could do to other different groups, stuff like that. So prayer I feel like the more mechanics and the more abilities.
Yeah, prayer mending. Yep.
Binding heal.
Yeah, prayer mending. Oh, I love that Love that spell, dude. The sound to that spell, the ding. It's like music to my ears.
You're still downranked to BC. Like you had in vanilla, you downranked too. So, but in vanilla on my priest, I had on the privates are like four different like really heals. Like I would have 2 ranks of greater heal, 2 ranks of flash heal. That's really all you need.
Yep. And I had my one heal, the max rank of heal. I used it.
Sometimes. Yep. Sometimes you could use that too. And prayer of healing, but in BC is you have prayer healing, you have circle of healing, you have binding heal, you have renew is way more important in BC than in vanilla. Prayer mending you want on cooldown, and then on top of that you still have your greater heals and your flash heals.
You'll have your bubble. Yep.
Your bubble too.
Yeah.
Like it's just there's just so much more spells and stuff in BC, and then on top of like cooldowns like Shadow Fiend,
huge. Yeah. Mana and I think priest healing as a priest in BC is the best. I can't say any more than that, but like
priests were in a very good spot in BC.
Very good spot. Druids were great as well. Like Life Bloom, amazing. I hate fighting druids in arena. I want to kill every single person who plays a druid in arena because all they do is run away. But I mean, and like this makes me even more excited for like when BC comes out and stuff like that. But I do want to kind of get back to the whole vanilla. So we see these issues, right? Where everyone knows vanilla was not perfect, right? There are classes versus optimal versus being, is this class, like, are you going to bring a balanced druid, 3 balanced druids raid? Of course not, no. My worry is, Alex, and I want to bring this up to you and see what you think. So we see right now, retail is not in a good place, right? We see almost every current content creator who plays retail are saying negative things about the game, about people who are supposed to be like the community managers, things like that. My worry is that we might get all in well a good classic at the beginning, right? So it makes all the people who are the classic people happy, and then I know where you're going with this. Yeah. So slowly over time, we start to see more and more retail people trickle in, right? Because retail's not doing good. Classic becomes, who knows, maybe the premier version of WoW. We all know that Blizzard sometimes goes against what they think is right and try to give in to the community, even more so now that it's Activision Blizzard, since that changed, many years ago. And even though, years later, we complain and say, oh, this change sucks, even though we were the ones who implemented it. They do it. And I'm afraid that they're going to say, oh, these people who are the classic people that are already invested, that got what they want, let's make these retail people a little happy. Let's implement this small change where, just say, for instance, we're going to try to make balanced druids more viable or things like that. And then the next thing you know, we have this new LFR system and this and that. And then, like, it's just this slope where I'm afraid they're going to say, okay, let's make the people happy first. Then over time, we're going to trickle in these little changes. Yeah. Do you think that's something that we have to worry about?
I'm more worried about like the streamers and the content creators. They already have a huge voice, especially content creators. You have a couple of them that are hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Hundreds of thousands. There's no doubt in my mind that Blizzard listens to those people.
Mm-hmm.
Arena
and Vanilla, for one thing.
Guarantee it, they listen to them. And what worries me is they already talk nonsense. You know, I said this on like my stream the other day. I was watching like the All Cap podcast with Addons and Asmongold and Shroud, and they were just saying some crazy shit. It just I hope they play it and then you know understand it. But you know.
Yeah, I remember in your stream you said. What did Asmon say that I was like? You said
he was like there was like 3-button gameplay and how nobody will ever be remembered from.
Oh, it was PvP. It was the PvP thing. He's like, yeah, you can't become a good. There's no skill in vanilla PvP, right?
They brought up PvP.
Oh my god!
So they're bringing it up.
Is so much more involved in vanilla.
It is very. I would say it's very hard to be a good PvPer in Classic WoW.
That's one of the biggest misconceptions, I think, is that people think, oh, vanilla PvP, dude. You have so much.
It's so broken. There's so much shit going on.
Exactly.
Which makes it harder.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. Jeez. If you don't have engineering, forget about it. Like you're not going to be any way competitive in any way. And then it's it's like
you have to like. There's so many things you have to keep track of, or like an enemy player, you have to wonder like engineering. Or
does he have the offhand? I can't remember the Skull of Impending Doom.
Yeah.
Is he gonna resist if I'm a shadow priest? Does he have a shadow trinket?
All the scenarios. What if they resist one of your spells that you're like, oh, right, let's say I'm a hunter and they resist my trap, for example, right? Yeah. What do? Oh, then there's another scenario. There's just so many other scenarios that pop up in your head that these guys don't understand.
I think I mean, Asmon, he has advocated Classic for a long time, but like I think they're so disconnected. A lot of those people are so disconnected from Classic. They either haven't played it in a long time, never played it at all. They have a totally different understanding of what it is, right? They see it from the outside. They think, oh, well, this, I've heard you hear big people like, I think it was Soda who said he would like to see Arena in vanilla. And okay, so you see a lot of these people. I think out of all of them, he does understand it, though. Who, Soda?
I think he gets it, yeah. He's like a PvPer for a really long time. I think he understands the complexity of like vanilla WoW PvP.
That's
Although
good
he does said some weird things like adding.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Soda, I think on like you said, deep down, maybe he understands. But it's again, so many people are watching these people who played retail. All these people are going to all of a sudden be playing Classic, right? So all these people are going to be watching these people play Classic. They're going to want to play Classic too. They're going to be in there. They're going to be.
Do you guys believe this theory of that they keep saying? It's it's funny. It's the retail guys that keep saying this. They keep claiming that there's going to be. And Nixion made a video on this. They keep claiming that there's going to be a massive dip in subs. I just don't think so. I think there could be a small dip, maybe, of people that say, "Oh, well, this is too hard. I want to go play back to retail." But
I think it's going to be the other way around. Honestly,
I don't think it's going to be as big as they think it is.
I think it's going to grow, honestly, because...
WoW's addictive. Remember when you first played?
Yes.
Go back to when you first played on a private server game.
Yep.
I was addicted. I didn't play vanilla in years. Long time, right? But I was never one of those guys where, oh, that gameplay sucks or whatever. I was just like, oh, yeah, I remember playing vanilla. Wow, I loved it. And the game went to shit. I want to play it again.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what.
And I couldn't stop playing.
Exactly. People underestimate the vanilla leveling experience.
They do.
How rewarding it is.
It's so addictive.
Yeah, it's so addictive and it's so rewarding.
Playing a new class, and I want to play right now.
There are people that just level in Classic, and that's what they love, and that's their thing. All the more power to you.
Yeah, it's when you get them.
That is the casual version of Classic kind of is the leveling process.
It's like
You know what
all
I mean?
my memories. Like what do I remember? When I got the robes of Aragorn on my mage, right? When I got that shit, man, I was like, holy crap! Like that was, and people forget like like your first green, your first talent point, your first pet, your first.
It's huge, man.
It's huge, man. Huge. And then like running ZF for the first time. All these things that the Tanaris.
Meeting people people in the world and having.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna meet friends and stuff, and have like all these people that you feel connected with. And I remember I watched the Nixon video, and he was like, "Oh, well, they're gonna go back to retail for the new raid or whatever." I just don't see it happening. I don't know. I just do you guys see it being a big dip?
I don't think there's gonna be a big dip. I think there will be a dip.
There's gonna be a rise if anything. I'm more on the opposite side. I think I'm someone who played retail for a long time, right? I played retail up until Legion, and I did it because I didn't know what the fuck else to do with my time because I was so addicted to WoW. I played WoW my entire life. That's what I knew. Once I got introduced to private servers and I knew that there was a viable option of playing vanilla out there, I was done. I was done with retail. I haven't looked back. I haven't played BFA, anything. I think a lot of people, even if they didn't experience Classic, they're going to get that rush that we all got that first time. They're going to see the streamers playing it. I think there's going to be the initial mass of people who are going to play Classic. Then I think people are going to start streaming it. All the big people who are streaming retail now, BFA is not doing good, like we said. They're going to see everyone playing Classic. I think there's going to be a steady influx of people playing Classic.
Here's the other thing. World of Warcraft is like a stigma for being like the big nerd game, but over the years, like nerd culture has become more popular, and people are gonna hear, oh, World of Warcraft, like I could play it like all these other people played back in the day, and like for the first time, like as it was, I think a lot of people are gonna play it, especially, if they launch it early in 2019, like right around when Game of Thrones is airing and stuff, and.
Ooh.
Like that would be
think about that, man.
I don't know. I
think it's a lot more socially acceptable now than it was before.
It's just I think a lot of people are gonna play. Like I could see a couple million.
There was a certain aspect of Magic when Classic first when WoW first released, right? We had Lord of the Rings was huge, right? Yeah. We had nerd culture.
Was Lord of the Rings before WoW?
It was before, First one came out 2001 or so. It's while Lord of the Rings was like. It was. I think
Return of the King was 2001.
No, it definitely was because all the hunters named like Legolas.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah, Legolas and the friggin' dwarfs named.
Yeah.
Gimli. My name's Gimli. I'm Gimli.
I've never seen a lot of Legolas hunters. Hunters.
I'm a mage named Gandolfi. And so
a hunter named Legolas, you get the fuck away.
Yeah, real quick. By the way, if you've never seen Mooncluck's video, so you want to be a hunter, you need to watch that video. It is hysterical.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but let's go ahead.
So like we had this magical moment, right, where culture is becoming big. Lord of the Rings, the kids who like Harry Potter, you had all this shit, and then you had WoW, and it's like an immersive game where you make friends. You can be yourself. You can be your nerdy friggin' self. Not shower for a friggin' week. Play this game. Eat Cheetos. Eat whatever you want to do. Fart and have fun with your friends. And like, boom, it was WoW.
God,
and
it was
now,
so popular. It was so.
I know, and like I think we're seeing kind of a return to that. Maybe not in the same extent, but like you said, we have Game of Thrones, which is breaking all barriers of people that I thought were like never be into that kind of thing who are loving Game of Thrones, right? So now you have this new influx of people that are exploring this nerd culture and exploring this and that, and people that are reliving it again. People maybe that played Classic at BC stopped playing, and Classic's coming out now. I can relive those fun times I had when I was a kid. I think it's going to be big. I really do, and I'm really excited for it. And I'm excited to relive that social aspect. I'm excited to be the person to maybe help a new person out, or as long as they're not a dick about it, I'm really excited for what it can be. I just hope that, see, the thing is, like, I want to trust the Blizzard team that's working on this. From what we heard about the leak, which we can start talking about, we heard that.
Yeah, we should talk about that in BlizzCon.
Yeah, we should start talking about the news. Actually, let's start about all the news. So, Alex, we have a demo.
I know, so much.
We have a demo. We have a leaks. We have new president. Let's start talking about some of that stuff.
That demo, man. Let's talk about the demo.
Yeah, some of the demo.
I'm so hyped about the demo.
So what do you think it's going to be? Zone, character classes?
Elwyn Forest, Duratar. You won't be able to leave the zones. I don't know if you'll be able to go to Orgrimmar Stormwind. It would be pretty disappointing to not go to Orgrimmar Stormwind.
I know.
Those are in those zones. So, and again, I could see them cock blocking us and putting a fucking invisible wall right there.
Yeah.
But what about the fact that there's quests in Duratar that send you to Orgrimmar?
RFC, dude.
Correct.
I just thought about that right now. So, what, you're going to block those quests? What about the quest in Duratar with the guy that's stung by the scorpion? You have to go to get the poison sacks, or the one at Skull Rock where it drops the quest to go to Orgrimmar, where they're just going to not be able to do those?
Good point.
So,
I was doing a lot of thinking, Alex, and I think, since how Duratar has 2 races and Elwyn has 1, what if it was Elwyn and Tears Fall?
But then that's
I like Tearsfall better.
Honestly, I do like Tearsfall
I like Tearsfall better.
Yeah.
Or it could be Duratar and Dunmarrow.
Yes.
Because then you have 2. Yeah, you have
2 each.
gnomes and dwarves, and then you still won't be able to play druids. They said Defy Us. Oh, they did. Okay.
So it's gonna be
that's right.
It's probably
gonna
be
Elwyn,
right?
And
My thing is,
I'd be pissed.
And they said Quillbore. Yeah, you're right.
I'd be so pissed if it was Mulbor.
I would love to be able to do RFC. Okay, we're definitely going to be able to see talent points. They said that, right? So we'll be able to see, of course, everyone's thinking that it's going to be the 1.12.
That's my goal. I want to get to I want to see as high as I can go. Just grind out mobs. See if I can get to level 16.
I would love to do RFC, but world first?
Yeah, world first level 16.
World first level.
On demo.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So what do you personally be looking for in analyzing?
I'm going to go into UI. I want to see what's in the UI. I want to see if they've changed anything.
Graphics.
I'm even thinking of taking screenshots of the vanilla UI and just comparing them and seeing if anything's changed.
Like the shop icon.
I want to see the original look of the UI too. I don't want to see how it looks in retail. I want to see that shitty ass page background next to everything. I want to see all of that. If that's not there, that's a sign of the future of what else they're going to change.
Exactly.
So, I want to see that one thing that's big important too is I want to see if that I said in that video that Alterac Valley guy is there in the town, because if that's there, that could easily answer anybody's question about itemization. Because if AV's in the game at launch, then they don't give a shit about itemization.
I know.
So you can throw that out the window. So I think it's very important to see if that's in the game.
Huge upgrades for casters and stuff like that with the offhand and
see if BGs are in there.
Don Julio's ring,
I don't think they're that stupid, but you never know.
No, I hope not. I hope not.
Can you imagine Unstoppable Force being on people first month?
No.
I just
I could see Dire Maul maybe at launch, even though that's big
I hope
too.
not.
No,
I that's huge because
they can't.
Dire Maul is literally all of my BIS. That's a lot of gear. I would even be okay with not having raids at the start, but I don't know. I'm sure they're going to have hopefully MC and Ani at the start, but I think DM should at least I think DM should at least be 3 months down the road.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I wish there was a way. I've been thinking, is there a way to see if Dire Maul's in the game just by being an Orgrimmar? I don't think there is.
People are going to be, what is it called when they fish and they look for data?
Oh, I hope they do.
Data mining,
I don't know how to do that, but I'm praying somebody does. I hope they hack into the fucking game.
I'm going to be talking to some people.
I won't do it, but I hope someone else does.
Absolutely, 100%. That's the thing.
Just does it, man.
I 100% am going to be looking at the back to what you said about the UI. I know that recently, I think in BFA, they made a huge change to the UI, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think they would do that.
No, I don't think they're going to do that either. But
there's way too many action.
What way to differentiate it better to have that classic one on classic and the new one on retail? You know what I mean?
But the most important thing is seeing. I want to see if that cash shop is in the UI. I just if that button's there, that's the thing we're going to see early on. If that button's there too. Man, I hope it's not.
So let's just go ahead and say, guys, the only thing that you could buy in Vanilla's Lifeline, which was later on in Vanilla, were server transfers.
Yeah.
And in the leak, which we're going to start talking about, the only thing they said, there will be no shop at the start. What the fuck does that mean at the start?
I could see. I've said it before. I could see a shop in the game. I can see ways for them to do it. It's just that and usually when I say like, I'm so adamant against like no changes, but if there are certain things in the game you have to you can discuss and talk about, like colorblind mode is a change. Like,
Right.
am I going to not play the game because they put colorblind mode in the game?
No.
I'll still play.
Mhm.
Cash shop. The reason why I don't want a cash shop in the game, period, is because they could easily put something in there down the road. So why not immediately say no? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
should just immediately say no. The worrying thing is there's other games like RuneScape that do have that in the UI. So they could easily just point at old school RuneScape and say, hey, you can buy membership in the UI in RuneScape. Why can't we do that in Classic WoW? Right?
Yeah.
So
But-
What if they just left it to services? What if it was just in-game services?
Well,
was all that was in the
that
shop.
like just all that, what I would be with, okay, with servers, but like just like we we're talking about before, with these changes happening over time and things that like we need, I think, as a community to kind of say, and I don't know if this forum at BlizzCon is going to be the time for that, to say like Mark Kern said, to have maybe some kind of constitution in place where we say we never want to shop, we never want this, we never want this. This can never happen.
See the outrage of people crying they didn't get a mount in the BlizzCon
Fuck,
ticket.
I know, like seriously. Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, that Panzer's
I remember
comment encapsulated the whole retail versus vanilla right there. That one
I
comment.
remember back in the day, dude. Like when they had we complained that they weren't free in the game.
Yeah.
Now they're complaining they don't get to pay for it. I'm like, what?
It's ridiculous.
Where the fuck did we go wrong? Like, it used to be, oh, well, why am I paying more money for a mount? That should be in the game. I remember when the Sparkle Pony mount came out in Wrath. Everybody was pissed about that.
Yeah.
And, the Celestial, whatever.
Celestial Speed.
Whatever it was.
And now we're people bitching that they can't pay money for more mounts. If you sometimes I'll see on the forums about people complaining about not enough store mounts. I swear I've seen this before.
Oh my god.
I've seen people say, oh, well, it's a store mount. It's okay. They need more money. It's like, dude, they're a billion-dollar company. They don't need more money.
No, they
like,
don't.
what are you smoking, dude?
And vanilla is not that kind of game. That's the thing that people have to realize. When you got the ZG Tiger mount, like, that was an epic moment, and anyone who had that mount is like a badass, okay? You didn't buy it. I've done Undead Strat hundreds of times, never seen Baron's mount drop. Like, with someone who had that feeling of getting that mount should be all you need. Like if you want to go and buy stuff, whatever, and then retail's probably the game for you. But in vanilla, when you got something like a rare mount, the feeling that you get from that by doing it in game, because you invested so much time to the game, you literally just buying it is not what vanilla is about. That's not the kind of game.
I don't think they would put I don't think they would put the ZG Tiger.
No, I hope not. I hope not. But like, who knows what they would do
if they had BC? Would they put the Swift Spectral Tiger? That's the thing that makes me curious, because Swift Spectral Tiger was so rare.
Yeah, really rare.
Wouldn't it lose its feel if everybody just bought it?
Yeah,
absolutely. It would totally ruin the immersion. Totally.
That's why I think that they must ask themselves that at Blizzard. They have to ask themselves that question.
But
if they put Diablo Pet on the store or something, everybody running around with Diablo Pet, how's that gonna?
Activision Blizzard, dude. It's not just Blizzard. It's not just what we had when we had vanilla, when it was just Blizzard and NBC. And once Wrath is, I think when they started to merge was like Wrath, right? Wrath era, Activision Blizzard.
During the end of BC. So
right.
It was like 6 months. It was like during the development of Wrath. So right before
literally,
which explains a lot. Yeah.
Which explains a lot.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Wrath was right around when they introduced the cash mount, all the services, LFG,
Switch faction, I think, right?
Yeah, they developed. So if they joined that in development, I guarantee you, What do you guys think? Do you think Activision has like a lot of control over Blizzard? Some people don't think
Oh.
so. I think they do. 100%.
I think they do. I think
Because isn't
they
Activision the
have
parent
last
company now?
say, right?
Isn't Activision the parent
Well,
company?
did you see what Mark Kern said on Twitter about how there's no
No.
CEO of Blizzard now? It's just the president, and he doesn't include CEO.
That's less control.
And he said that he thinks that's possible. It's not possible. Activision has more control over Blizzard.
Do you
I
think
think
that's
so.
why?
And it is interesting
stepped
how in the president thing, that whose name did you see a lot in that thing? Bobby Kotick. I mean, he is involved heavy up there, But I mean, why is Bobby Kotick involving himself with?
Do you think that's why Mike Morhaime stepped down?
Subsidiary company.
Dude, what if Mike Morhaime stepped down because he didn't like what was?
My theory is that like they're announcing something big, and they last year already planned this out, and that for this BlizzCon something big is being announced, and they want to have a new president at the face of this project. What that project is, I don't know, but that's my theory. Something big is going to be announced, and they want Brac to be the face of it when they announce it.
What do you think Brac being president means for the future of Classic?
You think it's bad?
It's definitely not good. I mean, it's I don't know.
I don't think. Here's the thing: if Class is a success, we have nothing to worry about. If
No,
Classics
yes, we do.
bring in money,
Yes, we do.
We do.
When it will be a success?
Yes.
I think if Classic is a success,
You're right.
When?
Yeah.
I think when Classic is a success, that is when we have to worry, right?
Why?
Listen to me. Listen, this is my reasoning. Because the retail people are going to start coming in if it's a success. They're going to start saying blah, 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 blah.
So we're going to go through the whole cycle again? Is that what you mean?
Yes, that is my worry. I'm worried that people who are making arguments with the Panzer, the whole thing, retail dies. Next thing you know, she's playing Classic, right? And saying, oh, well, it would be better if we had pets, and it would be better if we had this. And, of course, the Classic people would say, no, but we're already invested. And then one little thing happens, and they're like, then another little thing happens, and we're like,
you see how
then
the RuneScape community, you guys should check out the RuneScape community.
We were talking about this.
Oh my god, dude! Like they, if something they don't like happens, they are so bad. Like they're like, if something bad
rabid
happens,
dogs like that bad.
Oh yeah. They flood that Reddit with they hate the staff, like all this stuff, and I think that is needed, to be honest. That's how you get things done. And honestly, a lot of the stuff that they get pissed off about, guess what? It gets reverted.
But that is true. But look right now, with everyone being mad at BFA, and look at how staff is reacting to that. You have people like Lore, like basically calling people out, saying that is not how a community manager is supposed to act.
That's not how a company a multi-billion-dollar company should handle things either.
And these people who are playing retail, they're not arguing over this is not about the mounts. These are people who are not happy with the gameplay. They're not happy with the new system, with the Azerite, whatever. They're not happy with how everything's panning out, and they're trying to address it, and they're being called names, they're being called idiots, they're being called all this shit. That's not how you deal with a massive amount of people who bought this friggin' game. They're going to be pissed, and this is what worries me, guys, about Classic,
It's funny too. Lore has made some very interesting comments about Classic in the past. I don't have them on me, but he has said bad things about Classic in the past. If people dig it up enough, they'll find it. But he's not a big Classic fan.
I think Heels versus Babyface did a video about all that, what Lore was saying.
He's been bashing Blizzard a lot lately. He's getting some hate.
Yeah. But I'm glad that they're actually not just, these people who are retail content creators, I'm glad in a way that they're speaking out against this and saying that this is not okay. But it worries me as to what will happen if Classic goes down this route. You know what I mean? And I think that even though the like I literally went on YouTube the other day and all the retail, every single retail content creator had a video. Bellular, Talias and Avatel, all these other people had negative things about BFA. Is this the end of BFA? Will BFA fail? This and that. This, like every single one, right? And that makes me even worry even more. Are these people going to think that Classic is going to be the only thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Then all these people
Hold on
come,
a
they're
second.
not happy.
Yeah. I will say
They're
this.
gonna end up.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Alex. Yeah.
They're gonna end up bitching that Classic's taking resources from fucking BFA.
Yeah, probably they're gonna say that too. Yeah, but two things. One real quick. I don't understand why people get mad when someone literally is just questioning something. Like if someone get mad at Az for questioning Blizzard, and people just attack him immediately, just negatively attack him just for questioning him, Blizzard. Okay,
Yeah.
but on the bright side, I do think this is the community. Remember, this is the community that got Classic servers announced. The Classic WoW community is a powerful community, and I think it's the best community in gaming. I really do believe that, and I think that if we continue to keep our interests, if we continue to just be reinforcing our message, I think we hopefully will win this war in the long run. I really, really do.
I agree and disagree, because I do think do you guys honestly think the Classic community is the same community from the NOS days that wanted the petition?
Oh,
No,
well, it's
not-
definitely
well,
changed.
There's a private server
There's
community,
been some
and then
invaders.
there's a Classic community. You mean?
Been some invasions.
Yeah. And like you said in your one video, Alex, there's toxicity in every community. You know what I mean? Like the retail community is friggin' toxic.
Oh, I think it's worse. I think it's way worse. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who will add to the Classic community once Classic comes out, like the people who played it when they were younger and this and that. But I think at its core, when we see the people how passionate they are about Classic and how much it means to them, I think that's what you're saying, Phil. These people who basically invest so much time, they, just like us, Classic means more than just a game. It's been an experience in our life that has changed our life. Those are the kind of people I think that can, and if we all work together, and can bring it to attention if something like this happens, hopefully we can be able to, get what we want out of this.
You know what it reminds me of? I've been watching a lot of reminds me of the Star Wars stuff, and everybody's so pissed about Star Wars, and there's a lot of YouTube stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
A lot about how people hate how Star Wars is going. I follow a couple channels now. It's just every day they pumping out videos saying how bad Star Wars is and Kathleen Kennedy and all that. And
That's
honestly, if anybody
Classic
thought
WoW.
that Disney was
It's
going to make
just
Star
very
Wars
simple.
better, I don't know how Disney would make anything better. I the fact that Disney acquired Star Wars and people didn't realize right there it would be dumpster fire after that.
Well, I think ever since Lucas redid the friggin'
Oh well, yeah, Lucas screwed it up first. That's true.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
true.
and I
In
think,
my opinion, in my opinion.
yeah.
But
With the when he did the remastered
1, 2,
version.
and 3. No, one. Oh yeah, even before 1, 2, and
Yeah.
3. Right, the remastered
That would
version.
be
thought of it.
classic remaster. That would be if they did the classic. What the people, what we're trying to stop from happening to classic.
Speaking of that stuff, in the companies, do you think in the future BlizzCon will no longer be a thing because of Activision Blizzard, and how do you think that they will have one convention under both? Do you think that's possible?
I think that would only happen if the intellectual property of Blizzard was reduced down. I think they have so many games that they can
They already have both the games on the app.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely possible, but I think that a lot more things would have to happen to get to that point. Yeah. So,
So let's move real quick. Let's move into the leaks.
We'll
real
talk
quick,
about the demo. Yeah, let's talk about these leaks.
Do you think these leaks are not? I'm not saying they're true. Do you think they're in the realm of possibility?
Yes, but there's some red flags.
Okay. What are you ready? What concerns do you have?
I do not believe that the 17 developers, why leak there's 2 NOS devs? If I had to leak that, right, and I got information, I'd rather have said, who's at the top. Why would the two NOS devs be there? Wouldn't it be like rather be like Alan Adam or like Tom Chilton? Like I could see that instead. Like I just don't think that the two NOS maybe they're there, maybe they're not, but I just they seem more like guests to me or like interns than
advisors, maybe.
I don't see it.
But I think the league actually said that. I think they were just an advisement. They were just looking. They were.
Well,
What was the wordage?
Even then,
Yeah.
Who knows? Blizzard knows their own game better than two.
Oh, quality assurance is what it said. Quality assurance.
No, it's authenticity.
Right?
Authenticity.
Oh, authenticity. Okay.
Yeah.
And then like the facts about the number of servers, 8 servers. I mean, I could see Blizzard being that dumb to underestimate. They've always underestimated this.
Way
so,
too
I'm not
low.
surprised.
Yeah.
Way too low.
Way too low.
Yeah, I'm really thinking that's not all of North America. I really think that's East, Central, Mountain, Pacific.
But that's not what they call. What was the wording for it again?
Region,
Do you have
region.
it up? Yeah, region is oceanic.
But oceanic was always oceanic. There was no region.
But when they have regions, it's like
It could be
North
NA,
America.
EU, or East Coast, Central Coast. Even if it's like Eastern Pacific,
Yeah.
I still don't think that.
It's still kind of low, right? That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, maybe
the
that's
other
that's
thing
true.
is
They've underestimated it once before. Maybe they do again.
I just hope it's not mega servers. That would be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, Alex. First thing I would ask, what's the population size? Like, what's the population size? Please tell me that.
Max 5K.
That's what max 5.
Maybe if they did ×3, which would be like 7,500, I'd be upset. I would still play. But
I'd be upset too. Yeah.
if it was like 10K plus, fuck no.
No.
Jesus, like that's
So
way too high. It's not an MMO, and I could honestly, could they do that to save server costs? I don't. It's Blizzard, so
yeah. We saw a lot of problems with when you see private servers launching and that happening, and it really takes away from a lot of aspects of the game that I love, like and it takes you out of the equation. All these people running around. No, I think 5K is max. Like that, I think is even too much sometimes. But I think around 3.5 to 5K, somewhere around there.
You would need a lot of servers, though. They'd have to be prepared for that, and a lot of GM staff, a lot of.
Yeah, that's why I think it's not going to be 8 servers for the entire North America, because that's going to be way too high population size. Personally, I think.
Unless they're underestimating the crap out of it.
They always did.
Yeah, they did. That's true.
They
underestimated it from day one. They had no idea how many subs they were going to get.
He came out with another thread today about there was like a second part to the leaks. Did you guys see that?
No.
Hold on, let me see. It's on Reddit.
Oh, you heard it here
on
first.
Our Classic WoW. Where is it? God, there's so many useless threads on here.
Wait, are you looking on the Classic WoW?
Yeah, it was like leaks with a date next to it. I'm looking for. Oh yeah, the promised 10/06 leaks. And he says, "I'm sorry that I'm informing you so late. To my biggest regrets, I have to inform you that I'm not able to share the promised informations with you. I'd really love to because of how great these information are, but due to some bad events last Thursday, I have to refrain from releasing the leak to protect my friend. Sorry to everyone who has been waiting on it, but I'll tell you something. Look forward to the BlizzCon and think of me when after the intro panel, an unannounced surprise panel with 1.5 hours of classic gameplay is taking place. Blizzard, stop the threats. I'll keep quiet now. See you all in Hillsbrad, my friends."
Hillsbrad.
I think he's just saying like in Classic, like seeing Hillsbrad, right?
No, he's saying that for a reason. Why would he just throw in the word Hills? Like, why would he choose Hillsbrad out of any other zone? Come on.
World PvP time.
World PvP, it's got to be.
A World PvP experiment, maybe like a demo of World PvP.
Maybe like the last day of the demo, it's Hillsbrad, South Shore.
Maybe.
Which is not going to exist if there's PGs, but
no,
it's not. You're right. You're right.
No. I don't know. I mean, it's just we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's patiently waiting. It's already been a week since they announced the demo, so that's good. It's time's flying.
Yeah. So you feel like the hype is definitely coming back. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I feel like man, once we get this demo, things are going to start rolling. big time. BlizzCon demo.
What do you guys think of? We should talk about like beta. Like,
Yeah. Open beta, you think? Completely open?
do we even need a beta?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Do you think? I think we may need a beta if they get things wrong, and who better to correct them than the community? I mean, maybe not get things wrong, but things that just don't feel right. I mean, do you think it's possible? Do you think they could oversee things and make mistakes?
I would like.
Well, here's the thing. How would the beta even look? I mean, are you going to be able to hit 1 to 60? Wouldn't that ruin the feeling of doing it again in Classic WoW? Like, do they?
Yeah.
Would you test raids? Like,
Unless they provide you a
what do
60
they need to
automatically.
test?
Yeah,
They would
Test
have to.
molten core. Like,
I guess.
Well, I mean, we all know like a lot of the things in private servers were wrong, right? Like Ani is not the way it was in vanilla percent. There's a lot of like talents where like rogue talents are broken on private servers where the coefficients are off, things like that. So
the hunter pathing is fucking awful. Like,
pathing is awful.
Leveling, it's so bad. Like,
falling through the map as a warrior, you know what I mean? Charging. So there's a lot of broken talents, broken boss fights that are, people have experienced in private servers. So there's a lot of things I think that people would be looking at to see, oh, Blizzard is not doing this the way private servers are doing it. They're doing it their way, the way that it was supposed to be. That's something important that I think we won't be able to just get from the demo. We're only going to be able to get certain things. So
would we have an open beta to test Kel'Thuzad?
I heavily doubt that. I don't think no. I think it'll be MC and Ani.
PTR. Maybe we'll have a PTR down the road.
Even if like they were like, oh, let's have Method test it. How the fuck would like Method know after all?
Why would
years?
Method get? Yeah, it should be something.
I don't know. I don't know. It better be open beta if there is, because
better
I paid
be
$50 for a demo. So if I paid $50 for a demo and have an account from 2004 and that shit's fucking closed beta, I'd be fucking pissed. Like that would be fucked up.
Like I don't think they want all retail people on the beta. That would just be pointless, right? I mean, you want to have people who,
if they have a beta,
retail people don't know.
You buy the ticket, you get instant access to that beta. If you have an account that's made from 2004 2006, you immediately get in that beta.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? But even then, I would say no to a closed beta anyway. I think it should be open.
I think it should be open.
Yeah,
absolutely open.
Yeah, Melderon brought up this point too. It's like, how could you have a closed beta and then you're leaving out like most of the people that are going to be playing Classic?
Yeah, imagine paying $50 for a demo, and and everybody's paying $50 on top of that, and people are already kind of upset about that. Some people are not happy. I know Hamster Wheel wasn't happy about it.
No, he wasn't.
And on top of that, then afterwards, you're going to have a closed beta, and then you can't play again. I think that'd be fucked up.
Yeah, I do too. I think, yeah, I don't think that. I mean, honestly, I think they know that. I think that would. They're already pissed some people off with this.
Enough.
Yeah, exactly.
We should talk about that next. The release date.
Yeah, let's talk about the release date, and also, Alex, real quick before we get to the release date, what do you think the subscription cost for Classic is going to be?
If I was Blizzard, I would just go with $15.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean like just for Classic? For just Classic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
If I was Blizzard, I would go with 15.
I would pay
because I know some people might say, "Oh, it should be lower, like $5-10, like the leak says, or whatever." Which is, I could see that, but even with inflation, and you paid $15 back then, inflation, the fact that there's still MMOs charging $15 a month. If you're not going to have a shop, imagine if there's a shop and they charge 15. Man, now they're pushing it. But if we could do $15,
and that meant no shop,
I'd vote for that right now.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
That's a good point.
What about the people that are already
That's
playing?
something they should pull.
That is not a bad idea, because I guarantee you,
Old School RuneScape did that. They pulled a bunch of stuff before they went live.
I guarantee a lot of people would pay more to make sure that it would not have a shop. Now, what about the people that are already paying for retail? Do you think they would have to pay more? Like, say, $20 a month for retail and Classic?
No, I think if you're just sub to World of Warcraft, you can play
You can play both.
So
Yep.
you think it's going to be a one
That's what I
sub?
think.
You either sub to it or you're not.
Yep. Are you sub to World of Warcraft? Okay, you can log in and play.
Gotcha.
Okay.
They did say option, remember? Because they were like, you can pick classic server option. So I mean, I'm just assuming that I pick 15, you get the option to do both.
That's a good point, Alex. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So.
All right. So the release dates. What do you think? Do you think we can get it in Q2?
Yeah. No fucking way. Are they gonna make you wait? Here's something that people never like. They're always like, oh yeah, anniversary. How about the fact that if it's the anniversary, they're making you wait 2 years after announcing it? No.
Yeah, that is.
No. Nope.
I was just
Why
happy
would
that
they
because it would have
make
been on
you
my
wait
birthday.
But you want to wait another 6 months? Is that what you're saying, Matt?
No,
'Cause you want it
no.
on your birthday?
I just thought like, oh, it sounds good. It'll be on my birthday. No,
I think
sounds-
first half 2019.
that sounds good to me. That means we better get a beta soon.
That's why I think we're not
BlizzCon.
getting a beta.
Yeah,
Good point. Good
Or if
point.
there's a beta, maybe December.
December.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I think at
great.
BlizzCon they're either going to announce a release date or beta. Maybe like beta. They better say like, oh, if you have the ticket, you get in the beta for free, because they have those statistics in the email, and you can You have the down. Here's the other thing too. If you have the ticket, you technically have downloaded the demo, right? You
Right.
have access to the demo. So I would imagine you have access to the beta.
That makes sense too. Yeah,
But wouldn't it have made sense for them to have said that before they announced it, so they could
They
sell
might
more
be like,
tickets?
"Oh, surprise!" No, because they would have sold more. Yeah, they would have said that before. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Wait a minute. If you think about it this way, I just thought about this, right? Let's say that maybe there is no demo because, like, beta, because if they want to have a beta after BlizzCon, right? Wouldn't they have like used business sense and said that beta should be included in the ticket with the demo?
They
Right?
Yeah.
That
I
does
wonder
make
how many-
sense.
I wonder how many virtual tickets they sold. Probably more than they ever. You think they sold?
If I
them-
was Blizzard, I would have had that beta be included in that. So maybe there
That
is no
wouldn't be.
beta, and they're just going to release it early next year.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I don't know, man. It seems like a beta would be logical, but I can understand why if they wouldn't do one. I mean, it sounds like to me they would, unless they're that confident. I mean,
Could also mean that's just a guaranteed open beta. I don't know.
yeah, right. But I wonder how many virtual tickets they sold. I wonder if this is the most
Wow.
virtual tickets they ever sold at any place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sold a lot. So, what do you think? How do you think the Vanilla WoW community should deal with adversity from going on forward now? So we're going to have a lot of probably blowback from BFA crowd. We're going to have a lot of blowback from a lot of different people saying negative things about the game. How do you think we should handle that in a constructive way, and perhaps make sure that we can continue to fight for what we want as a community?
I've always thought it was going to just be a toxic hole, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to do it. Like, it's just a clash of like two different like ideologies.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, it's
So
like the political spectrum. I'm just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think you can.
That's a good point. I mean, that's a realistic point. Yeah, I'm a bit of an idealist. Like,
It's tough. I mean, it just. I always thought it was like a 2-point battle. Like it was, getting it and then making sure it stays like it. Like, it's tough, man.
it's
tough.
definitely a battle, and
That's why I want to make sure that Cash Shop's not in that fucking UI.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good to present our arguments in a constructive way, because I feel like they're taken seriously that way, more serious that way. I feel like if we just yell and scream, and I mean, even though I get emotional about this shit, I feel like I have to collect my thoughts and try to present this in a way that is, at least calm enough for people to take it seriously. So in that sense, I feel like, it's okay to get emotional about the stuff. It's okay to get pissed about it. But when we're trying to, bring it to someone's attention, I think we have to and that's why I think it's great that a lot of us can try to work together as far as the classic community. And I think a lot of our communities, have really, there are the outliers. There are the people that, but I feel like a lot of the times the community is very outspoken and can be very calm and collected when it comes to this sometimes. But yeah,
it all depends. I mean, Blizzard just like they need to just like reveal this, like the staff, and they're just not very open with the. It just never has felt like they are happy with the idea of this. Like it just
and I think that is what a lot of people are not just upset about, but are unsure about. That's where a lot of questions come from.
You feel like an unannounced guest, or it feels like a unwelcomed guest.
Yeah,
you know,
almost like a black.
It's even to me.
Like,
I don't know what you guys think, but even just seeing Classic WoW at BlizzCon still to me doesn't seem right. It's like the Red Wedding or something.
It's like the
black. The Red Wedding.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Something.
Every night before I go to bed, I have this like thought that what if they're doing this and then they're intentionally just gonna fuck it up?
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they may unintentionally do something that.
Yeah, but not intentionally.
Cause a problem.
Yeah. I just like I don't know. I have these like thoughts all the time. Like, what if they're doing this and they're just like gonna try to kill it, or I don't know. But
what do you think they're gonna say at the panel?
That's
I think it's gonna be. This was a hard undertaking. Thanks, guys. I really do, dude. I really do.
You think it's gonna be 45 minutes of just saying like how hard it was to like code the stuff? I hope not, because when I read it, man, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I read it, that's my first impression. Usually your first impression's right, your gut feeling. And
what I think it should be is interacting with the community onto how
nothing will ever get accomplished.
Like a town hall kind of thing would be great.
Maybe, a town hall would be nice. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Knowing Blizzard, they'll pick the questions like, "Oh, are we going to see updated whelpling pets in Classic?"
Yeah. Oh my god. So we're thinking about a new parrot color, guys. We're thinking about a rainbow parrot, and
are we going to get the barber shop in vanilla?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh. God, that's the kind of stupid questions.
We're thinking about engineers being able to make not just mechanical girls, but mechanical chipmunks as well.
I hope it doesn't devolve into that, dude. I really.
Oh my god.
But literally having someone taking serious questions and answering them would be very productive for us. Extremely productive for us. I don't know if that's
I wish I could be there, but
I want to see them answer stuff like population cap.
Yes.
How many servers?
Yep.
How dedicated to this are they?
Yep. Raid progression.
Do they plan on? Do they? Because if they're planning on a TBC launch, they have already thought about it and already planned it out. I think at this point.
What worries me the most though about the 1.12 thing is or that basis is like if we go to BC or Wrath, are they gonna have the basis on the end patch?
Yeah.
Like imagine going to Wrath of the Lich King private server and LFDs at launch.
Yeah.
Or imagine like playing Burning Crusade and the attunements are gone.
Imagine playing a Wrath server and you can't tank as a Frost Death Knight. Sorry, that's a personal thing.
In TBC, like they changed it at the end where the attunements were simplified, and I want to see the original attunements.
The original attunements when you had to go
those now, like
every done. Yeah.
Tough.
I think honestly, Alex, that they would keep. I hope because just the way that they keep in, like in vanilla, the same way that private servers have done. Like Major Domo doesn't drop a loot till this patch, and then stuff like that. Hopefully, they would implement it that way. So it's the 1.12 core, right? But they still implement things the way they happen in vanilla.
Do you guys want BGs at launch?
No.
Like no BGs at launch.
No BGs at launch.
I think they will be at launch. I think the PvPers are going to cry
it.
about
If they are at launch, which I hope they aren't, they better not have the PvP awards at launch. Because that...
I could definitely see them having that stuff at launch, unfortunately. The PvPers are one of the biggest, no offense to them, but they cry a lot.
But dude, like so much of that gear is like... So being me as like say as a priest, right? Everyone in our guild basically got AV attuned, and like benediction is better than the offhand. But if that was the way, I'm gonna get I'm going to get friggin' exalted because I'm going to get that offhand way before Benediction comes out. So like it just changes so many things. Like there's so much good gear from the AV Quartermaster.
True. Yeah.
And then you can get your mount. Like it's just so many different things. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we need to learn lessons from OSRS. We need to poll the community about things like this.
Yeah.
And I think Blizzard needs to take that into consideration, and we need to, but that's dangerous too, right? Polls are dangerous too. I don't know, man. It's
look what happens when they listen to the community too much.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
seen
you
that
pull the
happen.
community. I mean, I don't think a lot would go through. Like, for example, I don't know, if you polled the community needs 75% of the vote, and you polled, for example, maybe like race change, I don't think that would go through.
No.
Name change, I don't think it would go.
No.
Yeah,
No, you're right. As long as
I don't
you do
think
like
it would.
75.
I don't think it would go through.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I don't think anything would really. I think you have that staunch amount of people that would always vote no. I would always vote no on anything.
Absolutely, yeah. But
Oh,
without
you
even,
make videos.
without even...
There's a new poll, new video. Fucking vote no.
Yeah.
Vote no.
Yeah.
So you brought up
No.
videos. Let's switch gears for a sec, Alex. So, as a classic WoW content creator,
Yeah.
it is very hard sometimes to make a new video and know, okay, is this video going to be okay to put up? Is this something that I can use? Is this something that we can
Very
talk
tough.
about? It's very hard. How do you deal with that? You obviously have been hit before. Some of your videos have been hit before, and you had to pretty much readjust your whole style. How's that been for you?
It's tough mentally. I mean, mentally it's tough. Classic WoW is just the video content has just been done and done and done and done. Like it's hard to make content on an old game. Like it's like it's tough because like when Classic launches, like what content can you really make because it's all done.
Yeah.
That's why like I kind of might be a good idea to make content based on like the social aspect or like
I agree.
Because that's something that
Philosophical
can
aspect almost. Yeah.
the personalities and server communities and stuff. But it's tough. That's why we need a new game.
Yeah.
Need a new game, dude. Like new content or something. But
I know, and I think like I said, a lot of it has been done before, and a lot of it we really can't do things that you want to do until Classic comes out.
For fear of maybe,
of repercussions from Blizzard, right? So,
yep.
But then when that happens, like, yeah, a lot of these guides and stuff like that, a lot of the information is going to be the same, but you're always trying to, think like, is this the best I can do, or is this what I can do here? And like for me, at least, I feel like I said, when it comes to the social aspect, when it comes to like being able to tell stories, I think that is something that we can always fall back on, right? Because WoW in itself is a story, and we all have stories inside of it, right? We all have our experiences, your experience, Melderon's experience, and I think that is one of the most like amazing things about WoW is that like you and I can have completely different experiences within the same game and be able to share that with other people. But one of the hardest things I think to overcome is like that sense of, oh, this has been done before, this has been done, and or you can't do that, or this and that. And it's like we're all passionate about this game, we all love it, and we want to be able to share that with other people, but we're so limited in what we can do. And like I said, it's almost like, wow, I wish another game would come out or this and that, but like a lot of the times these other games have come out and never come close to how we always feel about WoW. And it's like, and I know you're a huge advocate for Pantheon. I want to talk about that later on, because I think that if any game, that looks like one game that could succeed. But yeah, it's like over all these years, and you've been doing it for a long time. What, 2.5 years now?
No, I think it's close enough. 3.
3. Wow.
I started the channel in October 2015. So yeah. 3 years.
3 years
Wow.
now. Yeah, 3 years right now. Yeah.
years.
I gotta say though, Alex, one thing that has been
Long
refreshing with your content is speak your mind, and that's something that I think a lot of people they put on a mask when they do content, whether it's streaming.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah, exactly.
Double-edged sword.
Yeah.
When you put yourself out, and
Yeah.
you're way more susceptible to that.
My worry about that is, and I've always been worried about this, it's not that I hate other content creators. I mean, well, you guys know I dislike some of them, but it's more just the fact that, like, when shit hits the fan, are they going to defend Blizzard, or are they going to speak their mind? Because I've always thought that they will defend Blizzard, to be honest. Like, if something happens, like Cash App comes out, they'll be like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. They'll look at the positives of it. I'm like, dude, some things in life just are negatives.
Yes.
That would be a huge negative. So you would have to go against the company and say, you don't have to just say, oh, I hope their company gets blown up and everybody dies. You don't have to say things like that, but you have to go like, no, this is a bad decision, and I do not like what Blizzard's doing. I don't like the direction. You have to have the confidence to say that, even if it's going to hurt Blizzard's fifis. It's just like,
even if it's going to hurt your content as well, because
even if it's going to hurt your content, you have to risk the dislikes. There's going to be people.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. People are scared to risk the dislikes. They're scared to risk like people getting upset, and you have to be confident in your opinion, you have to take risks like that. You can't just constantly, just be all happy good boy all day. And
that's good advice.
And
that takes a toll on. It does. It takes a toll on yourself.
It does take a toll on you mentally as well to be able to do that kind of stuff. But
see, I think what a lot of people don't realize is, like, sometimes Blizzard is almost like dealing with, it's hard, especially for people in the classic community. I'm sure people but when you talk against something or say something that you believe is wrong and this and that, you're always afraid that, oh shit, are they gonna take down this video? I mean, are they gonna do this or
guarantee you at least one time Blizzard fucks up, they are bound to do something wrong during Classic WoW.
I agree.
They will do at least one thing,
and we have to hold them accountable for that.
Yep, they will do at least one thing. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but Blizzard always makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And
so they're going to do something wrong. Promise you that.
And listen, we're all human beings here. You know what I mean? It's like people make mistakes. Blizzard might make a mistake, but I think, like, for what they have to realize is do exactly what they're not doing right now with BFA. Don't take it seriously. They're taking it seriously. They're taking it like it's an attack on them. People get upset with things. That's perfectly normal. You have to be a grown-up about it and say, okay, they're not attacking me. They're attacking the game. They didn't like this. And work together with the community instead of trying to piss this person off. Get under this person's skin. Do this, do that. Because people take everything as a personal offense sometimes, and or a personal attack, And I think that's the issue a lot of the times when it comes to Blizzard, or people feeling like, oh, well, Blizzard, we're defending Blizzard and this and that. And listen, yeah, they're going to make a mistake. They might make a mistake, but it's up to us to speak out and say, this is not okay.
That's why I like heel versus babyface, his approach.
Exactly.
He's very, he likes the company, I think, to a degree, but he's very critical. And,
he is. Yes.
He takes the hit for it. He gets a lot of dislikes. He's lost subs before.
Which amazes me, how people dislike and unsub because you have an opinion.
Unbelievable.
That amazes me.
Unreal. Or you can go the opposite route and go like trade chat, or those people, and walk on eggshells.
With your you can't say anything wrong against Blizzard,
right,
because you're basically in bed with them, right? So it's like
that's the thing. Like a lot of content creators are kind of in bed with them now, because whether they want to get highlighted on their website, or their podcast shows up at BlizzCon, or
rub my back, I'll rub yours, the kind of thing,
Yeah. You say the wrong thing. Oh, well, like for me, example, I know for a fact I'll never be a host at BlizzCon.
I think it's safe to say, Alex, you've kind of sealed your fate there. Yeah.
It's safe to say, guys. They probably have
I will never be a host
there. Don't let this person in.
I don't care. Like it doesn't bother me whatsoever.
They're gonna have like your face on like a wanted poster. Like if you see this guy come in,
get him the fuck out of here. Yeah, like they had Ice Poseidon at the TwitchCon thing. You see
Yeah,
him
yeah.
on the poster, like you see this guy, get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
And I will say
even
one
at
thing, Alex. I
BlizzCon,
know there's a lot of people out there that have gotten mad at things you've said, but at the same time, you've kind of sacrificed yourself to be that kind of spokesperson. Do you know what I mean?
You need somebody like that. Nobody else is. Like,
Yeah.
You need somebody like that. Like, I don't care about if I get banned from BlizzCon. Like, I have no intention of going to BlizzCon anyway. It's in fucking California.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's
not this year.
I don't care if they don't like me or never did.
And
So,
yeah. Everyone has the right to disagree or agree. I mean, there's been things that you've said, Alex, that I was like, I don't really agree with. There's been things Melderon have said that I don't agree with. There are things that people say that I don't agree with. It doesn't mean you have to personally attack somebody or do that because you disagree with them. And I think that's
it's good for content creators to stay as fans, not as. And I think some content creators have gone away from that, where they're not as much like they're not like a gamer. They're more of like a subsidiary of the company or something.
Right.
Yes.
They don't speak for themselves. They don't. That's actually what inspired me to make content, because, you know, when I was playing WoW back in the day, I didn't have anybody that would. I don't really remember many people lashing out at Blizzard for all the mistakes they did. They made so many mistakes, as you guys know. So, and even today, like, I see a lot of content creators. They may be bashing it right now a little bit, but during like MOP and WOD and Legion, or even category or anything, they always seem like they're walking on eggshells, like balancing on like a fence pole or something, making sure they don't fall down and insult Blizzard. That's just not my style.
I think like criticism is so important. If you're going to tell somebody they're doing a great job, so on and on and on, they're not going to know that what they're doing is bad or wrong. You know what I mean? You have to be outspoken. I know a lot of people got ruffled. What's his name? I'm losing a blank right now. He recently lost his battle with cancer. The
streamer?
We're gonna get shit out in the comments.
English, guy.
The streamer.
No, he was on H3H3.
Yeah, he was just. Oh yeah, he wasn't really a streamer. God, Jesus, it's drawing a blank too.
God, we're gonna get so much yelled at in the comments.
Just look it up, man. You got a computer in front of you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know who it is. It's just not coming to my brain right now for some reason.
Anyway.
Total Biscuit.
Total Biscuit.
There you go. Yeah.
We're gonna wreck the
okay. Well, we can just. But yeah, I mean, Total Biscuit. He ruffled some feathers during. Like, I remember his Cataclysm. You know, he was someone who was not afraid to call people out, even when he knew that it would be unpopular. You know,
he was very anti-vanilla WoW, by the way, before it passed.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, and
his
like,
opinion, obviously,
that's his opinion. You know, of course, not everyone's going to agree with us on everything. You have someone like himself, Total Biscuit, who's like, you know, his thing was like reviewing games, things like that. Like, everyone has a different opinion. Yeah. If you're not being truthful in what you believe, you're being not only dishonest to yourself, but you're being dishonest to. If that's your job and like this is what you do, you're being dishonest to all the people who are watching you. You're being dishonest to the company, because you should tell them exactly how you feel. If you're not true about it, you're not telling them what you think. How are they going to learn and grow from that in the future? You know what I mean? So I think if anything, that's probably the most important thing that anyone can offer, is their complete honesty and what they truly feel about.
As someone who's had people work under them, and I've supervised a lot of students in my tenure as my graduate degree, I much more appreciate a student who challenges me on something that I say than someone who just says, "Okay, I'm just going to do this." You know what I mean? You learn a lot more when people that work for you challenge you, and any good boss needs to realize that, and Blizzard needs to realize that as well. You need to be challenged in your stances to grow as a person or a company.
They've always had. They've always had that issue though. Like, they've never. I always like said this like, I don't remember really. I can't tell you a couple times on my hands that they've apologized or said my bad for like they
do
said
not
it
take
recently for
criticism
BFA,
well.
which I was like blown away. Like they were like, we should have listened to you. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
what's going on here? This is Blizzard Entertainment, the company that thinks they do everything correctly.
Yeah.
They think their game's God's gift to humanity. Like they're
They do
saying
not
this.
take criticism
Like
well.
they do not take criticism well at all whatsoever. It's they do not.
Yeah.
So
All the
we're in
more
our little bubble
reason.
over there.
Yeah, all the more reason for us and other content creators like ourselves to be completely honest. You know, listen, if Blizzard was going to say, "Hey, listen, guys, you know, would love to have you on our talk show, whatever, like this, and that," I would say, "Okay," but like, I'm going to be 100% honest in what I say. You guys might not like it, and like
Then they
that's
wouldn't
what I
have you
think.
on.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, that's probably the most important thing that any content creator, any person who's a fan of Blizzard can do is give them your 100% honest truth opinion.
Exactly, and it's extremely dangerous to live a life where you live in a bubble of people who tell you what you want to hear.
But here's the funny thing is like I'm so like anti-Blizzard, but it's not because like I'm still a fan. I'm a fan. You know, I'm a fan of like the work that will not really as much like in the last few years,
Right.
but you know I love Diablo. I love World of Warcraft. I love Warcraft in general. So I like to, you know, I do go overboard at times, I'll admit, but I do like to critique and like complain because I am, you know, I've been a fan of their games for over 10 years.
You have every right to.
And I also have every right to.
Mm-hmm.
I've given them a lot of money. I can't tell you how much money I've given them. Like I've given them.
I would love to know how much money we all three of us gave them.
Holy shit! Probably between the three of us, probably what, like 10 grand, maybe.
Probably close to that. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I still have an active subscription, by the way. Still to this day.
I don't. But
I don't have it. I don't have it right now. But you know, I just don't think like the coddling of of them is good. And like,
it's one of the first.
We need more free mounts. We need more. We need more mounts.
It's one of the first vlogs I made. It was like, the reason we have Classic WoW is because of dissension. People literally said, no, we want this. Nothing gets done in the world if you just sit on your ass. Nothing.
Thank God for private servers.
Yeah, thank God for the salaries team. Yeah.
Right.
Like, you guys, if you don't like something in the world, you gotta say something about it. Do it correctly, do it with respect, but you have to say something.
If Nostarius wasn't a thing, we would not have private servers.
Absolutely not.
I 100% agree.
Absolutely not.
No, 100% agree. Yeah.
Absolutely not. So yeah. It's a revolution. Is really what it was. It was revolutionary. So
we wouldn't have had it.
Yep.
So Alex, I wanted to bring up another thing before we finish up here. Like we were talking about, brought up a little bit before, Pantheon. Okay, so
Pantheon.
we have seen a lot of WoW killers. I have done my research on Pantheon big time. Like I'm really excited for it. I am. I think if anything, this game reminds me of like what classic WoW. Like I love the idea that it has the non-instance dungeons and like all this cool stuff, and I'm excited for it more so than any other MMO.
If you think about it, looking back at vanilla WoW, like it would have been better to have no instance dungeons. I would have rather preferred. Like the world suits it too.
Dude,
like there was a lot of potential to not have those instance dungeons.
Yes. I don't know if you heard our John Stath interview, but like there was a constant battle between the non-instance dungeon people and the instance dungeon people. They were so like neck and neck. Like, okay, we're not doing instance dungeons.
Kaplan, I bet, wanted no instances because he was big
I think he was one of them. I think
EverQuest had no instance
dungeons. Yeah.
All the EQ fans did not want instance dungeons, and as of course, what we got was a lot more instanced than non-instance.
That's not true.
Of course, non-instances is more hardcore.
Yeah, elite. There's more elite areas in the game than instance dungeons.
Really?
Yes.
But what I mean is
there's more non-instance dungeons than instance dungeons. If you consider my definition of elite area is an area that's not connected to a dungeon that has elite mobs. There's actually more of those than.
Because I'm thinking like Jinthal lore.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because I know there's one in Stone Talon with the Den. There's one.
Yeah, there's one in
In
Silver
Eastern
Pine?
Kingdoms, there's almost
Shire?
every single zone has one, dude.
Yeah,
Almost every single
Lakeshire.
zone.
You're right. Actually,
Now that I think about it,
you're right.
yeah. Wow, that's
It's a pretty
crazy.
good balance, but there's actually a little bit more
Yeah.
non-instance. Yeah.
You're right.
And then in later expansions, like almost nothing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got like, because the whole elite mob thing kind of like died off. You saw a little bit of it in BC with like elite mobs, being here and there, but like, yeah, it did not get, you didn't see. It would only be for, you only do this for the questing. You have this couple quests in this area, you do it, and then you're done with that zone. It's not like something you would redo for experience like you would in an actual dungeon. You know what I mean? And there weren't like bosses like there were in actual dungeons where you got a boss who dropped this piece of gear. You didn't see that in non-instance dungeons. So they definitely went more towards the favorable route of, I think, having instance dungeons. And I think having a game with none of that would be like really, really interesting. And I think Pantheon.
I'm excited for Pantheon. I do think it's a long while away though. I mean, it's just probably not gonna see it for a while.
Yeah,
But
what do you think? Maybe a year or two, or
probably after Classic WoW.
okay.
After Classic, do you think
Good
that
for me. I'll just hit this lily pad, hop to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Fine with me. That's good. But
From what you have seen now on it, do you think that it has the capacity to, I'm not going to say be comparable to WoW, because to at least be in a successful MMO?
definitely more hardcore than WoW. Have to see how addicting it is, I guess. Like it's just it's a different animal than WoW. It's like comparing like RuneScape with WoW. It's it's more like, no instances. I mean, that's a big deal on its own.
That's a lot of world PvP going on, a lot of interaction with other people from, if they're, okay, yeah, let us go through here first, that kind of thing. And something that we see in vanilla a lot is, at least on private servers, you're running through a non-instance dungeon and, you got this guy to kill over here, the group behind you doesn't even give a crap whether Alliance, Horde, or whatever, they kill it, blah, 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 blah happens, and it's that interaction that you get with those people that really makes the game feel alive in that non-instance dungeon kind of thing. But like, I mean, it's so funny.
I do think that's the only game on it's going to be worth a damn. I mean, Ashes of Creation, I just don't think so. I'm not feeling it, and I don't think it will be. I had to bet money it will not turn out to be good.
No, I don't either. I think
that's going to be a weaker like Guild Wars 2.
What is it about like what are some of the things I think about MMOs that like Bless Online, like they all fail. They have like this weird kind of just
they try to reinvent the wheel too much. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
I think you're absolutely right with that.
And they need like an established world like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, or I don't know if you guys know they're making a new Lord of the Rings, but it's going to be
really.
But it's like a AAA company developer or something, and like it's. I don't know how good or not it's going to be. But it's in development, so they're making.
Look out for that. I do like the Lord of the Rings universe as well.
Yeah,
I personally think I don't know, man. I think if this is done properly, I think Warcraft could be around for our kids, man. I really do. The World of Warcraft. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be classic.
World of Warcraft VR.
Dude, can you imagine the classic world as a VR? Like, I don't know. That'd be
like
insane.
Actually being your character.
Yeah.
Like being a.
Did you see Warcraft ever being as big as like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars?
As a franchise? Oof. I don't think so. The thing with Lord of the Rings is that books are hard to beat.
Well, you
and
have
Star Wars
books.
is hard to beat. What's that?
Yeah.
You do have the WoW, but they have a lot of them in there.
But the lore, like I think a lot of what the reason why WoW, I think it could have been that if it didn't go down the road that it did, from like Wrath on, you know what I mean? You started to see the lore become kind of, to me, felt kind of like the lore in vanilla, dude. Like first of all, the lore is in the quests. You know what I mean? If you're not doing the quests, not reading them, you don't know the lore. You don't know what the hell is going. It was much darker. It felt much a world that was
It felt more like a
strife.
tabletop game.
Yes, and
It
then
felt
you
like
go-
the world was the DM explaining to you how the world's going. Whereas Burning Crusade, as soon as you walk to the Dark Portal, you know exactly who the bad guy is. Boom, you have demons right in front of you, right?
And then of course with
Vanilla
Wrath,
didn't have
but then
that.
even after that, like I feel like it started pandering more towards I don't want to say almost not kiddie, but not also less fantasy and more of like a like anime style, like villains kind of thing, and you know what I mean. You have this hero Jaina. It felt less of like a fantasy world and more of just like a drama almost. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just didn't feel.
Vanilla's about the players. Lich King's about the characters. It's about established. So the problem is Lich King is about established characters. Arthas, you know, all these established characters. Sylvanas,
Jaina,
them bringing the plague in the Wrathgate. Saurfang. Whereas Vanilla, it's all about the player base. You are the characters in the story.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the difference, the core difference between
You know where
storytelling.
the bitching came from that? It was because in Burning Crusade, people bitched that Illidan wasn't enough for the quests.
Correct.
And then they had to make,
Yeah.
remember that?
Yep.
They had to make like Arthas like a bigger villain and rap quest.
and now you're the
downhill from
hero.
there, man.
Yeah. And now you're the hero. Like
Fuck
that
yeah.
is, I think, the biggest downfall that they had was making the player the friggin' hero. Like I want to be a grunt and I want to be a part of the wheel. I want to be
From
a
a lore
soldier in the
perspective, how
army.
can everyone have the Ashbringer? Like, how's that even possible?
Even in like Warcraft RTS, you were controlling grunts and shit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like in Warcraft 3, you had the heroes, but you were never the hero itself. You were you were in the storyline. It's just
you were part of the story.
But it's just.
And one thing I want to bring up is like, so we were talking about in BlizzCon if they might introduce a Diablo 2 like remaster or something like that, or if they introduce a Diablo.
You guys big into Diablo?
Yeah, huge Diablo fans.
What do you think they're gonna? Do you think there's gonna be? Do you guys agree with me that there's gonna be something big happening at BlizzCon? I think it's a big announcement.
Diablo.
But is it Diablo 4 or something bigger?
Like what?
Bigger?
What
Do you mean like a World of Diablo? Like
yeah. Do you think that's possible? An MMO? And they did say they don't want to run 2 MMOs, but fuck it, you never know.
You never know with them. They also said they weren't going to announce Classic, so.
Weren't they going to do more like a Dark Souls Diablo? Is that kind of what people were thinking?
I think it could go. Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
I've always, honestly, in the back of my mind, I always thought it was too early for D4. I don't know why, but D3 is. It just seems kind of early. Like
look at the timeline between D2 and D3.
And Blizzard never has made like a fourth of a game yet, have they?
Yeah, no, they haven't.
They stopped at Warcraft 3.
Yep.
They could easily stop at D3.
Yeah.
I mean,
look at the gap between StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. Jesus.
What about
I could see a knockoff of that. I definitely don't see a StarCraft 3.
No, me either. I don't think so either.
If anything, I would go. If I would ever create a new MMO, I would go StarCraft universe personally.
You think?
You think so?
Man,
I think Diablo would be so much more badass,
like
dude.
World of StarCraft.
Yeah.
Imagine Diablo like the.
I just want to explore space. You know, you can explore space in StarCraft MMO. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That would be cool.
Then again, wouldn't that compete with Destiny?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an Activision title. Yeah.
I think a World of Diablo would work. And it could work. They have the zones. They have all of that.
But one of the things I was thinking with like Diablo, so like even if they do remaster an older version, like what I would brought up in one of the last videos we did is like in WoW, the reason why I think people are like not okay with not remastering like WoW is because of how much of an important character the world is in WoW, and it's already been changed, remastered in a way in Cataclysm. You know what I mean? And that had a pretty bad adverse effect on a lot of people. Like
they're not going to remaster World. They're not going to. I'm pretty confident in saying I do not think they're going to have updated graphics or models for Vanilla WoW. They may, even the textures. Like I don't believe that in the leak. I don't. Why? You mean they're going to do the textures for the entirety of the game, all raids, all instances, BGs, everything? That takes a long time.
That is a lot. The most I would say, Alex, I would think it was like a little bit more on the scale of like say the slider like 1 to 10, like maybe 12. You know what I mean? Maybe there if that's what how we're gonna do it. Maybe like shadowing would be better, something like that. But one thing I really don't want to see, and I'm afraid because it did say that in the leak, it said that the view distance would be increased, which is something that I am totally against.
I don't think
I hope not.
You never know. I mean, imagine seeing like Echo Isles from like Pokemon or something.
Yeah, like exactly.
It
made the world feel so much bigger, and you know what I mean. Like being able to see, like I said, I always bring up, like Black Rock Mountain from, you know what I mean, or being in like Duskwood and being able to see Westfall, like, you know what I mean. It's like
the world feel smaller. It does, and I don't think that. I wish I knew. Who do you think is leading the team? Like, do you think it could be Tom Shilton or Alan Adam?
Maybe Alan Adam.
Tom Shilton, maybe. I mean,
got to be a lead on it. Somebody's leading it. Somebody's got to be a lead.
It's possible. Didn't somebody say it was someone from
Steam?
Yeah,
I think they said.
Oh, that was the last leak, right? Yeah.
No, I think that was confirmed. I think it was somebody.
Oh, that was confirmed. Oh, okay.
Somebody from Valve is working on it. I'm pretty sure.
Someone from Valve.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, either way, man. I mean, we're in a pivotal. Find out a lot of shit. We got BlizzCon in less than a month. We got the demo in less than a month. What are your plans for all this, Alex? What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to stream it.
You're going to stream it? Hell yeah.
Stream it. It's going to be a really crazy week. It's a lot of information. I mean, even if like nothing classic announced, going to be something Diablo's. Bet money on it. Bet my fucking channel on it. Something Diablo's announcing. Like, no doubt about it. It's just I'm curious what it is. I would be disappointed if it's just a TV show and a D2 remaster, though. I don't think that's enough. It needs to be more than that. I mean, I'd be happy with a D2 remaster, but I think it's something more than that. I mean, they're changing the face of the company. Why? There's got to be like the timing. Just look at the timing.
So
just before BlizzCon.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Something's off here. Something's. I think they're announcing something big. Could be an MMO. Maybe.
We'll see.
Or Overwatch 2. Which would be, I don't think these.
No.
Imagine a sequel in.
I'm not a big fan of it. I never really got into Overwatch. As far as FPSs go, I was a fan of Halo, and like that was it. Like I love freaking Halo.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Overwatch.
No, never got into Overwatch.
I couldn't get into the characters, honestly. It's too.
As soon as I got into WoW, I don't know if you guys like this, but as soon as I got into WoW, no other video game cuts it for me. Like,
kind of. Yeah. I lost out playing a lot of other games because I played WoW.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. You're like, this isn't
like
WoW. This isn't
WoW.
WoW.
Witcher 3, like Skyrim.
WoW killers.
Yeah, the WoW killers.
Kind of wish I can go back and play some of them.
Yeah, me too.
Like Warhammer Online.
I wish I wasn't biased. Skyrim, I tried to play through all of Skyrim. I can't. It's just not Skyrim. WoW. I love it too, but it's not WoW, you know?
Yeah, I know. You miss that social interaction. You miss playing with other people, and it's like, I need to get that WoW fix, man.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get it soon. Classic WoW fix, the real classic WoW fix. And I'm just really, we're in a really exciting time right now. Like we were in a really dark, like almost like a dark time where we didn't know jack shit. People were speculating about this, that. People were making ridiculous friggin' claims, you know. And
one thing too, like after, what do you think is going to happen after like BlizzCon? Like after, so let's say they have everything announced at BlizzCon, and then do you think it's just going to go dark for 5 months? God, that would be terrible. Why do they make it do that again? Like, do you think they would do that again? Like, that was a long time in the dark there for a while.
With a playable demo, I don't think they can pull that off again. I really don't.
Well, if we're talking Q2 2019, we're only talking 6 months away.
But Alex is saying, are they going to have 6 months of silence?
Oh, I know.
I don't think so. I think with a playable demo, you kind of put yourself in a hole.
To me, that's worst case scenario. That's worst case scenario is if they make us do that again of just like a long period of time of nothing. Like that's honestly kind of like shame on them too. Like that was a really long time.
It was.
I know a lot of people were just like, oh, wait, BlizzCon and just be patient. It's like, dude, that was a long fucking time to not update the community.
It was, and there were so many questions.
And there's still so many questions that they refuse to answer. It's not just of Classic. It's just them in general for all of their games.
Yes,
Like, even BFA, it's just awful.
I mean, I gotta say right now, like,
we need to have a Q&A or something. Like, we don't even get a Q&A. Come on, man.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
bullshit.
we
There
need
needs to be
to
at least Q&As after BlizzCon or
yes.
something. Come on,
We're
man.
at BlizzCon. We're at BlizzCon. You know, I think overall right now a lot of people are disappointed with Blizzard, with how they're dealing with BFA, how they're dealing with a lot of things. But I mean, on the opposite side too, sometimes I have to like pinch myself and actually think that holy shit, like Classic is coming out. Like Classic fucking WoW is coming out. Like I have to pinch, and like in 6 months or so we're gonna be playing it.
Hopefully in 6 months, but I'd be pissed if it's. Some people are gonna be happy it's the anniversary. I'm gonna be pissed. Like that's 2 years after.
Honestly, I mean,
like that's just a long time, man.
So Alex, Classic comes out. What's your plans? What are you leveling first? What are you doing?
Gotta make sure I'm not playing on that streamer server.
That's
what I'm gonna do. I hope they announce the servers a week before launch, and I'm going to take a day or two and investigate all the streamers. I'm gonna say, okay, he's going on this server, he's going on this server. Okay, don't go on that one. Blah blah blah. This private server guild is going on this server. Okay, which server is not taken? Kind of like you're picking a sports team or some shit.
Right.
And it's like I'm gonna pick a server that nobody's affiliated with. You go on that one. Probably PvP East Coast, and then play Horde and
try to have the authentic experience as possible.
What class have you decided first? What class?
Kind of like the Hunter. I'm a Hunter. I've been really liking it so far.
I think
probably either Warlock, Hunter, or Priest. Maybe all three. But definitely, server choice is really important.
Yeah,
especially if they have no transfers.
Especially in vanilla.
Especially if you're a streamer and you're streaming leveling. You don't want to stream leveling on a server with a bunch of people and already level 60. It's a disaster.
Well, let me ask you this.
I would definitely avoid any high streamer server. It's not going to feel good to me.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this though: do you plan on joining a server like with a lot of private server people? Because you think, oh, like these people, at least they know what they're going to do. I don't have to explain everything to everybody, or I don't have to deal with all these noobs and this and that. I mean, of course, there's like I would love to be able to help people and stuff like that, but then also there's the fact
it would be good stream content to fight against noobs all the time. Easy.
It would, and you'd be kicking their ass.
Like if you go on a server with like all like retail players and like you're an experienced player and you know everything, you feel like you're king of the castle.
Raiding might be a little hectic, but
raiding might be.
But that's fun, rather, right? Yeah. That's you're experiencing it, and you experiencing it through people who have never played before too. Like that's fun content. To me. That is fun. So it's kind of like
honestly, I think I'm just gonna blindfold myself and just click a button. Honestly, I think that's how I'm gonna do it. I don't know. Like, of course, Defcamp and I are going to
PvP. Absolutely PvP.
Oh, PvP. Defcamp and I are going to have to. We're going to play on the same server, obviously. Yeah. But other than that, I don't know, man.
Thing is, dude, I love healing as a Holy Paladin, but I hate the Alliance. But I freaking love healing as a Holy Paladin.
I just hope they go with the original server names and do Burning Blade and parentheses Classic or C.
Yeah,
Star.
That's a good idea. I was wondering how they're going to do that. Yeah.
Does it really matter? Does server names even fucking matter in retail?
No.
Nobody cares what server you're on.
No. Yeah,
they're just pissed because now I can't do mythic raids with you on server. Nobody cares. But,
who cares? That guild now you can't even give out guild loot anymore. It's all personal fucking.
They don't even. It doesn't matter what server you are in retail. So I think they could use that in vanilla. I would hope they do that. I would think they would because it would keep communities together. I played on Burning Blade on vanilla WoW. I'm gonna play on Burning Blade in Classic or Archimond or whatever.
You know what? A good point, Alex. It may be a huge point for people to get reunited with people who they played with before. If they had the same
Blizzard, they're all about that.
Yeah,
they're all about that stuff.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised to do that.
I would not either. Could you imagine reconnecting with some of the people that you played in vanilla with in BC?
Yeah.
I made some amazing. And I was going through a really rough time in my life back then. I recently gotten out of rehab, and I was doing nothing but playing WoW. That was my life, dude. And I met some people that changed my life. And to be able to reconnect with some of those people would be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that would be pretty interesting, especially considering now I'm Alexensual and a streamer.
Yeah.
And they're oh, it's you.
I fucking hate you.
They're oh, this piece of shit.
You call me a retail monkey.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure, guys. And I think no matter what, it's gonna be an enjoyable situation. And I really hope that everyone gets to enjoy it. And...
Yeah, dude.
But Alex, let's let people know where they can find you, man.
Yeah.
Well, people should know where you. Everyone watching this usually knows where you are, but
on YouTube.
Yeah, so he's got Alexensual has a YouTube channel. If you didn't
YouTube?
know, it's called Alexensual, and but he also has a Discord and a Twitter. If you guys want to follow him, and all that stuff's under his picture right now, so you can see it, and the links will be in the description as well. And if you're listening to this on a podcast, or on Apple or on Google, on Stitcher, on SoundCloud, we also have a YouTube channel, and vice versa. If you're watching this on YouTube, you don't have to watch it on YouTube. You can just put it in your phone and take it with you. And if you want to be on DefTalk, you just email us at melderon.gaming@gmail.com. Yeah. We don't care who you are. We don't differentiate between content creators versus players versus whoever.
Versus
and you guys,
community members. Yeah.
So you guys can come on, and this is an open forum. So. Anyway.
Yeah, Alex, I had a great time. That was a really good conversation. I probably talk for another 3 hours. Still a lot of shit I want to talk about, but unfortunately, we all have lives and stuff to do. So,
What's that?
Yeah. And plus, the Eagles are playing.
I have Raid in a couple hours. No, I'm just kidding.
MC,
I do. I do have.
I got the Eagles game to watch.
MC and Oni.
Yeah, exactly.
Eagles game. Yeah. But thank you so much for coming out, Alex, dude. It was really good talk, and yeah, shit, guys. Thanks for watching, and my name's Defcamp.
This is Melderon, and then we'll say goodbye to Alexensual. Yeah. Yep.
All right,
guys, it was good talking. See you later.
Peace.
Peace.